What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of the Casters Lounge. It's the sixth one. It's with Nexus, it's with Greb, it's with me, and some guy in the top left. How is that guy?
Always me. It's always me. It's always me who just gets bullied.
I'm the punching bag in the top left. He got
I literally am the punching bag. I may as well like have the classic "kick me" written on a poster out on my back or something at school. I'm that guy in this blooming podcast.
Straighten your glasses, mate.
What? How is the man in the top left doing? What is Nexus eating? All of those questions and more to be answered during the podcast. But first, I'm just going to run you down through what we're going to talk about today. It's pretty predictable, I'd say.
Okay,
to be honest.
Stromus, what are we going to talk about today? I have no idea. I just came in from another country.
Caveman College.
Pandemic. I need to know, what are we talking about today?
We are going to be talking about the playoffs of ESNL Season 6, both the past, the present, and the conclusion.
We talk about that.
And yeah, that's basically it. That's all we'll talk about, essentially. Aside from asking Nexus what he's eating and how he's doing.
I mean, I can answer the question right now if you want. Just
no, Nexus.
No.
It's Nexus's question.
I think it's fine for Dom to answer. He saw me go to the store and
Dom
purchase
can
the chips.
We'll have a quick story. I'm gonna make it a bit anecdotal. We were in a Discord call before the podcast. Grev goes to the store to get some snacks. Nexus goes, I'm gonna one up in, and goes onto his phone on his camera and just walks to the shop on the phone and says, Dom, what should I get? I'm like, all right, get some crisps that are a bit crisp chips. Having an argument about that as well.
Chips.
Bit spicy, and he's gone for sour cream and sweet chili crisps.
The Scandinavian part are a majority, Dom. You can't.
I know, but the chat, which will surely have some UK in there, will say Chris.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna be wrong either way, so it's fine.
Yeah, that is very true. Dom,
we already had your mental breakdown over fries, so
can you recover from this defeat and the breakdown?
I can't recover from a lot of things in life, including fish and fries, a phrase that Strom used earlier. And you know, it's just a very distressing time. Next time, Strom, I expect you to be the one who takes it to the store. Maybe that would be some piece of content for season 7. Just show you going. To
I don't think it will be, but
as it'll be bonus content.
Strom go to the store and chat votes what to buy. Make it happen.
Spend $100 in the grocery store. What is he gonna get?
Unlimited budget. What am I buying?
Pregnancy test, toothbrush, and probably underwear.
Fun
Bin
fact:
bag,
those are the free
massive
things.
Knife.
They were just listing up stuff they would take to an island if they were all on their own. Grev,
you would take a pregnancy test to the
No,
island.
It seems like you would, Grev.
Oh. Oh, okay.
What else have you been doing? Obviously, you mentioned you went to the store as well. Did you just buy pregnancy tests, or?
Oh, me?
Mm-hmm. For the unicorn
no.
mask.
Yeah. Honestly, we've been like getting along, and things get
how deep of a way?
That was a shit.
How intimate?
I'm not sure it's Twitch TOS.
All right. Well, moving on from Twitch TOS before we get the main channel of ESN banned for not an ESN game.
It would be us, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be us, to be real. This is also, I should mention, on YouTube in maybe, depending on how lazy Matt is, to be honest. It'll be up on YouTube soon. So if you are watching this on the YouTube channel, then I guess YouTube TOS applies instead. Which
if you're
extra
YouTube
lucky,
channel,
it'll be streamed on YouTube next time as well.
And if you're extra lucky, it won't be the end of season 7 before it comes out.
Yeah, that would be lucky.
And for reference
on
might
how
actually
lazy still be relevant when it comes out if you're lucky.
No, for reference on how late this will be, this is recorded on the 13th of May. So keep an eye on that.
Just so you know that we're
pressuring you.
We're gonna get an angry message in a couple of days, and like the Casters know, how dare you? The text channel, not the podcast, by the way.
Exactly.
How dare you expose me on stream?
Take him a couple days to figure out. Don't worry about it.
He'll just say, it's not my job, it's Jake.
Not my problem.
pass the
not
ball. It's
my
like a
fault.
relay, isn't it? They just throw things to each other. They're like, I don't want to do that. Well, I don't want to do that. Well, yeah, I don't want to do that. The never-ending cycle.
All right. Speaking of things that we're essentially not willing to do, let's talk about season 6, since that's what we're here to do right now.
Oh, I don't want to.
I think we'll start with the past. Makes a lot of sense, I'd say, in that we've had essentially all round of 16 games played and all of the quarterfinals except one played, while we took a bit of a break because we didn't really want to put a podcast in the middle of the round of 16 games because it would have, sort of made things a bit weird, I think, with the schedule. Hence the delay of this podcast as well, because we were going to have it on Monday, but that's when 2 of the 4 quarterfinals were played, so it wouldn't have made a lot of sense. Speaking of making sense, Nexus, did you make sense of any of the round of 16 games? Anything that sort of you found interesting?
In terms of games, Revenge versus now Granite, that was a fantastic game. 16-14 on both.
Round of
maps.
16, thank you.
Round of 16. No,
See, this is the
those
issue
are like
with
8 years ago.
I was just
You're
sat there
asking
like,
me
I swear
about
that
things
was a
I don't
quarterfinal.
remember.
If you want to talk about Revenge that badly, you can just bring up Revenge versus Wasps, couldn't you?
Yeah, I can. Grev, how did you enjoy that game?
I mean, I love Train, so anytime it's on Train, it's a good time. It was honestly like a really good game. I was kind of rooting for like the underdog of Wasps to pull a little bit further ahead, but they didn't. So they only got the first map and then fell off immediately afterwards.
What do you make of their season in general? Because I think they've been massively overshadowed. They went 3-1. They were 2-0 at one point, only losing to Geek Case. They went 3-1. They've been like, there's been nothing to complain about really from Wasps all season. Obviously also getting through round of 16 as well. Or not getting through round of 16, but them getting there with us almost never talking about them. Is there anything to say that we'll see Wasps in the future in an even more improved manner? Grev?
Well,
or anyone that
a lot of them can improve massively, to put it bluntly.
As long as it's a different team. No, I'm sure they'll be like, should they give them they'll have to change teams.
Wait,
yet
haven't they
again.
had like 3 teams in the past
They've had,
3
like,
seasons?
Yep.
Yeah,
past
literally.
4.
They're just,
Oh,
It's just a dice roll, honestly, to see which one will continue on. So
you just watch Wasps every season. You just think, have they all changed nicknames or have they just done it again? don't know who's who. It's just a whole different team.
Yeah. It's hard to really
changing
track
nicknames, something a lot of teams should do. There's a lot of really weird names I don't want to get into at the moment.
What, Dynag Mumbath?
No, that and
that's
player
amazing.
names as well. Like
player names. For sure.
Oh
Ooh,
yeah.
Oh, you're lucky. I actually had a folder on my desktop or the text document with stupid fucking names. That was the name of the folder. I just written down like
Number
10
1,
different names.
Dom Phillips CS:GO.
Ooh, definitely up there.
It is
the 2
definitely-
L's.
It is way
like,
too. It is way too long, and if you have
How
the
do you
name,
spell
your
it?
name of the game
Not
you
tech,
play
bro.
in your Twitter handle, that's so stupid.
The reason for the length of these panels that we've got in the overlay. The reason we've got the length of these panels in the overlay is just because of Dom, because of his long Twitter handle.
I need to get a better alias, but I just don't know what else to have. I want to just have my name like at Dom Phillips.
DP.
Or at Dom, but at DD. D Dom Phillips.
Gonna be seeing some DP this game, and how you feeling about this one? You're
Go on
joined by
then, Dom, do some DP.
Well, we join your co-casters, Stromies and DP. Yeah.
Say hello to my friend.
Double penetration.
Yeah, you had the sound of that picture, Graf.
You didn't have to like reveal what the abbreviation was. You didn't have to out us like that. You could have just kept it under wraps.
Yeah, Dom could just say it's Dom Phillips, but he knows the secret meaning.
Alright, also, just so chat is aware that obviously you may be watching this as a post, but if you're watching live, then feel free to drop a couple questions in chat, as Matt did earlier with the what is next is eating question.
Also, what is my background video? That is a game, not a video. I will show you right now. I will press a button.
Wow, look at that. Technology's really gone far, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
Alexa, play Despacito.
I feel like
Absolutely invigorating content from next.
I feel like we've really just hit a point where we're stuck right now.
Yeah, we
So-
can't
Can you
improve the
tell the
content.
show has nowhere left to go?
So
Yeah,
let's
this is the top
Nah.
of the content we're
That's a bit
gonna be able to
harsh.
give you guys.
moving a controller. I think
Sign
we
of what's to come.
I think there's just I don't think we need to address too many more games. Most of the round of 16 games rather were quite dull in all honesty.
They were more of a setup for the later rounds, I
yeah, a
think,
majority
instead
of them
being
were
actually good
2-0s,
games.
but yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think one just to mention real quick, Team Red Blood's Phantom's Ignite. That was sort of we've seen Team Red Bloods in the group stage and in did we see them in lockdown? I think so.
I think so.
When
Yeah.
the ESN historian is asking us a question, you're not going to get a straight answer. I think they might have played in one, but like,
I think they played in. I think they got to the playoffs of the lockdown as well. They looked fantastic in groups. Like obviously Dom will know that more than anyone because of how they played against Budapest 5 despite losing it. They were just fantastic. Went 3-1. I think they beat Equinox in the 2-1 game, which maybe doesn't say that much, but like in general they were just maybe not flawless, but they were definitely like they definitely looked more and more like a even contender for the title this season. I put them up quite high in any tier list. But then
Yeah, a lot of the Portuguese team has like fallen off almost immediately, haven't they?
but the Red Bloods aren't Portuguese.
Well, I know that.
Mm-hmm.
But you mentioned Equinox. Like,
Oh,
oh
right,
yeah,
yeah.
wait. None of them are still here.
Exactly. Except
I
yeah,
mean,
no,
no. You may be saying that, but Skillmatics is all in our hearts.
exactly.
They made us proud.
They won our
Did they?
hearts.
Right.
They
No,
won our hearts. No, yeah, but I think going into the playoffs, that was sort of the sentiment we had about Red Bloods. But then they did really stumble against Phantom's Ignite. Not sure if anyone watched it or so, but it did not look great, which sort of was an early sign of sort of what was to come. In that they did have some really top opposition in the quarters as well. I don't think there are any other games, to be honest. Any form dips, any form rises you guys want to bring up?
yeah, I mean, I was just going to talk about Red Bloods actually, just moving on swiftly because like the thing is with them, I've looked back at their games and yes, they played really well in groups, but the teams they beat were like Lucifer, Auglas, and then Equinox in the 2-1. I feel like that isn't actually that strong a plethora of teams. When they played against the likes of Budapest 5, obviously a far superior team, they lost. When they played against a Phantom's Ignite, who are a better team, but not as good as like Budapest 5 or Reversa, who are the ones who have beaten them, they struggled again. So I feel like with Red Bloods this season, yeah, they've shown like good CS. They have when they've come up against strong opposition and decent opposition, because I'm not classing Lucifer and August as strong opposition, and probably not Equinox either. When they've come up against really good opposition, I feel like they haven't actually showcased that higher level. So maybe their form dip is actually because they've just been exposed.
I can see that, although I think it's a bit disingenuous to sort of classify the defeat against Budapest 5 as anything but a really good showing still.
Yeah, it wasn't
but
really
yeah,
good. It was a good show. They didn't lose and get like absolutely and utterly whipped. But I feel like
Yeah.
Budapest 5 were going to win that game from the start. Even in the 8-0 lead on Nuke, you were still. I was sat there with anticipation, waiting for Budapest 5 to come in. It wasn't like I was sat there waiting for Red Bloods to close it out. I just feel like they didn't really do like they did well, but they didn't make me think they could actually win this series. At any point in that series, I don't really think they could have won it.
Yeah, I think in general as well, I probably agree with most of that they haven't really gone up against great opposition all of the time, but I guess we'll move on from that then. Again, I'm not seeing anything in chat right now.
No. Actually,
It's still
I'm
on
gonna
the
correct.
food topic.
Yeah, Matt said in the story of Dom's story of me getting food at the store, he never.
I think he
Dom
said-
Friendly never said what
I
I
think
got,
he-
but that is incorrect. He
I
did
think-
say
yeah.
I got.
I said, is he
Sweet.
deaf?
Crisps.
Yeah, I think he is.
Sour cream and sweet
Yeah.
chili crisps.
Yeah, I
Exactly.
think he might have
Lazy
had a
Matt
minute.
doesn't even
Yeah,
pay attention.
no, I think he had a
Do you have a
stroke
senior
when we
moment,
said
Matt?
chips as
Have
well.
a senior moment.
Matt is just not very attentive, it seems, to anything at all.
Not like anyone else in this call at all. was actually a
What?
self-reference.
Yeah.
I'm being self-deprecating. I'm not coming for the Scandinavians. Don't worry.
Your precious
Okay,
Scandinavians.
either way, I'm safe. I'm not Scandinavian.
ES Nordic
I
is
was
here to
saying,
take over.
If only you could replace me with like a Danish caster. You've got like the whole of.
If only we
like,
could
the
get a
whole
Danish caster.
Scandinavian.
Dom does have a bit of that Danish look as well. Quite long neck,
Do I?
quite tall. Yeah, I don't know.
It's not a compliment.
No, it's not really.
No, it's not. Phoenix Storm is capable of doing a compliment. I never knew that was in his DNA.
Yeah, some say so.
Oh, he didn't like that.
Has Nexus ever gone positive in Open Nexus? Since we're still on the sort of the past.
Has
topic?
Nexus ever gone positive?
Depending on what you ask.
In Open?
Open?
Well, that's a different subject.
Yeah,
isn't it?
that is a different subject. In Open, I've gone negative once this season, but we won that game.
Well, it's open, isn't it? It's not exactly like you're playing against Ramona Strong.
Yeah, it's like I'm playing against a Dex Hairline Hunters again.
Love the in jokes that
Let's forget.
that won't apply to anyone else. No, yeah.
Oh,
I think
we're all here for our in jokes.
I think we'll just talk about the quarters then. Maybe let's be honest. The quarters we've had outside of maybe Project Versio Red Bloods, they haven't been the best. To be honest, they've been a bit of a letdown, perhaps.
I mean, I think only one of them was a letdown so far.
XTC Budapest 5, you mean?
Yeah.
I'd agree. 100%. 2-0 for Budapest 5, which...
Routine victory.
Yeah, it was so routine, for sure. That is the word. It just never felt like they had any problems at all. Scraping
16-4
off.
in the first map.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Versio Red Bloods, really good game. 2-0 that as well, but it was just one of the best, if not the best, 2-0s I think we've seen just all seasons, honestly. It was fantastic all the way through. But, you know, that still being a 2-0, obviously Granite, formerly B-Pro and Night Elf, also 2-0 Revenge. Anyone make anything of that game? I don't think it was that special either, to be honest.
Huh?
Nah.
Granite Revenge.
But the number one thing.
Huh?
No, it was a fucking great game.
Alright, sorry. Yeah, I did cast it, like... But...
Yeah, you casted it with me, and you were saying, oh, this is the best 2-0 we've probably ever seen
maybe
in
I
ES10.
mixed... Oh god, I mixed them up, didn't I?
Oh, you piece of shit! Promise, you suck as a host! Why
He's
are
just
you
made a
like...
mistake as a host. Clip this. He's just made a mistake.
Why
Now
are
hold
you
it
like
over
this?
his
one-
head for
oh,
the rest
great.
of the blooming season.
One mistake. 6 seasons.
Oh, you're awful.
I meant...
That's his only mistake he's made.
I can't be asked with you. I'm
I-
gonna have to leave unless Travis just corrects himself right now.
I obviously meant that Versio Red Bloods wasn't a very special series as a 2-0. I've just mixing up all the 2-0s essentially because there have been too many of them. But I think Granite versus Revenge was yeah, as you say, quite fantastic 2-0. One of, if not the best, again, 2-0 series we've seen. And it's, you know, anything else on that Nexus? You got to see Vertigo, so.
I did get to see Vertigo. I didn't get to see. I was hoping for a third map in that one.
100%.
That was one of the maps games I was like, we need a third map out.
Yeah, especially while we were casting as well, because it was like it was so up in the air just on both maps.
Yeah, for the first map, it was literally, I think it was the first 8 or 7 rounds went to. Shit, now I'm forgetting. It was Revenge, if I'm not
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, either way, it was just basically both teams making stints of 6 or 7 rounds each, like one in between. Well, then the comeback came in and it was 16-14 in the end. It was just so close.
It was such a good game. I really would have liked to see a third map on that. I think it would have been Mirage as well, and I think you pointed out during the series that would have just let loose some of the players that we'd have loved to see just be even more let loose, like specifically the Oppers in that series who maybe obviously got a chance to sort of perform, but I think they could have on Mirage definitely sort of dominated.
That was one of the talking points we have during the game as well, that it was Inferno T side where both the Oppers just went ham and just basically destroyed the defense. Yeah.
We'd love to see them on train in that case.
No, fuck trade. That's why I was happy. Was the third map would have been Mirage.
Right then. We've got one more quarterfinal that hasn't been played. It's due tomorrow. 404 Multigaming, formerly Regnant, playing Famous 5. And to be honest, like, not to sort of belittle 404, but since they have a stand-in, and since Famous 5 in general have had just such good form through the season, ever since sort of after the second game, I do not see 404 winning this one with much chance at all. Is there any sort of angle where you can see them even getting like a map?
I mean, maybe Famous 5 is sleeping.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is there standing like, you know how B-Pro had Victor, which was like an unreally good standing? Is there standing like that? Or is it just like
their standing is because of them changing too many players through the season, so they've had to revert back to an old player.
I mean, on paper, they're the worst.
I think Tommy Salami is the one standing in.
Oh, doesn't he ex-Regnant?
Tommy Salami?
Yes, that is part of the former core. It's the same core.
Right.
Yes.
Right, of course. That's why it confused me. Anyway, 404 Multigaming there. Like, they are the weakest of the 8 quarterfinalists, I'd say, on paper. So I feel like when you put them up against Famous 5, who are probably one of the tournament favourites alongside Eversio and probably Granite, I just think I can see them maybe getting a map if Famous 5 aren't fully there, but I really don't. I can't see them getting any more than that, to be honest. Probably going to be one of those boring 2-0s that you alluded to earlier, and not like a Granite Revenge kind of 2-0.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's going to be pretty routine. And honestly, I've sort of accounted for Famous 5 already winning that, which may be a bit, just maybe a bit rude, but like.
Look at that. Strom is not rooting or being biased for Regnant.
What can we do? Yeah, they're not for Regnant anymore, so it can be unbiased in a way. No, I just think they are going to win, as you say, and I guess if they don't, then that's just going to be I guess all of us being proven wrong in a major fashion, which could actually be a great storyline for the finals this weekend.
Yeah. I mean, if they do beat Famous 5 and they hit a new level of play, that is the best storyline going into the semi-finals.
Oh, 100%.
Really.
Yeah, it could be, but it might just make you and a bit sad. You were hoping to cast the Famous 5 again.
Oh, yeah.
Against
Granite. I was hoping to cast that, but I'll cast whoever's in there because I need to. I've casted Eversio and Budapest 5, who was the one semi-final this season, but I haven't. I don't think I've casted Granite / Famous 5 / 404 Multigaming. So I want to get in that semi-final with Anne, and then I can sort of say, well, I've seen all of the 4 semi-finalists, and I know who's going to win.
And I've seen Granite versus Famous 5 again, just like season 5. Well, since we're talking about sort of the semi-finals and so on, and the teams, I just wanted to bring up sort of a hypothetical question, which isn't perfect for this panel, considering Grev's on here, who's been here for just over a season now, and I guess some of the other ones haven't stuck around for all the time, but I was just thinking, sort of, is this the best? Because typically we always have like a quality improvement season on season, right? But
yes,
is this the best top 4 we've seen in ESN history?
Yeah.
Or is there any contender?
I'd say it's not even close. In terms of romantic storylines, maybe not, but in terms of quality of play and the dynamite that they can put into like making matches entertaining, this is a whole different level. Different level.
I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one.
I mean, let's say Famous 5 do win. You've got Budapest 5, who for like most of the tournament have been ridiculous. Famous 5 were playing like a team possessed. Granite, like champions last season, very solid team. We've just made a couple of roster changes to level up the game even more. And then Eversio, who, yes, they're overperforming, but just because they're overperforming does not mean that they can't go off and pull an upset. Because I've cast them last night. They're a fantastic team. The top 4 speaking, this is brilliant.
Am I wrong in saying that all these teams are in ESEA main? I think one's...
To my knowledge, I think most are.
I think Famous 5, Granite, and Eversio are?
Yeah.
Famous
those 3 are, at least.
Are Budapest 5 in Advanced, maybe?
I don't think...
Yeah, they might be main. Whatever, yeah.
Yeah, Budapest 5 is also, according to Matt in the chat.
Does
Yeah,
that
okay,
mean
okay.
that this A-word league is not like
It's a
casting
main.
A-word?
We won't have that tag for much
even
longer either way.
even the use of a word as an irony needs to be brought out. It needs to be stamped
Exactly,
out
yeah,
now.
it's gonna get stamped out next season.
It's just part of the gradualist approach. Next season, I'd invite you all to keep an eye out for things that are coming up. It's going to be sick.
Top 4 all seasons, back to that. I guess I'm the one who would have a sense of the first two, but like, it's obviously the case that it's not going to be like season 1. Oh yeah, that top 4 would have beat this one. I think, as you say, Dom, like the quality level is obviously increased, and I think even like, if you count War Fox, honestly, I don't think they would have beaten some of these teams that are in the top 4 now. I don't even think like the best teams from previous seasons would like be as good here.
No, I don't
I
think
think they've given Granite a good
Yeah,
go
100%.
in their prime, and perhaps
Budapest 5.
Versio as well, and maybe Budapest 5 as well. But I don't know. I think over the top 4 right now, who would you say are like your 4? How would you rank them in terms of this is who's most likely to win? Because we're going to put Famous 5 in there because from what we're going, we're just going to bang it out. Let's be real. Who would you put in?
Me?
Yeah,
I mean,
you go.
we'll start with you.
I mean, I was just gonna finish up on saying that, like, I think this is also competing to be the best top 4, as in how even it is quality wise, because the only contender to that would be like season 2, I think, with Wasps Gaming, their first one, Lions Creed, Genetics, and Absolved. That was like anyone could win it. And I'm sort of getting deja vu on that, which I don't think we've had like at all for the seasons after that. As in, honestly, I could see Versio winning it. I could see Famous 5 winning it. I could definitely see Budapest 5 winning it, and Granite, of course. And yeah, it's just like, it's been quite a long time since that's been the case. There's always been maybe 1 or 2 teams that have been just not quite as good, as in maybe like, not to keep pounding on Sia, but Sia in season 3.
just keep kicking in.
Yeah, exactly.
Keep kicking.
Like Luxor weren't quite good enough in season 4. I think Beacon obviously forfeited, otherwise ex-Luxor probably weren't in that despite getting to the final.
You know, your point about the even quality distribution is so true. I mean, look at last season's semi-finals. B-Pro banged out Famous 5, and then you'll never see a more one-sided semi-final than next Luxor versus Bacon.
100%. But yeah, getting back to it was a good question, Dom. Ranking sort of the probability. But as I said, I could make a case for any of them. To be honest, and if
there's one that like your gut goes for, who would it be though? Like,
maybe Budapest 5, because that was my original intent, I suppose. But
yeah,
I might just throw the question back into you guys. Just like, give me a case for every team. Then, Grev, you want to make a case for any of the teams? Just pick one.
Any of the teams?
Any of the teams that are left, including 404 if you want to, but you're going to have to make a good case on that one.
You're going to have to have some good cojones to get on that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I am not... My predictions are not the best. I mean, maybe some people have gone for that. So I'm sticking with the Famous 5 due to the popularity and also the facts I stand next to them, because, 404, step your game up, man. So yeah, it's kind of hard to like plot a case, because all of the semifinal, which we basically already confirmed despite one of the matches not even being played yet, they're all going to have a tough time. It's not going to be easy. It shouldn't be easy for any of them to move on in towards the finals, which is the way it's supposed to be. So honestly, I'm thinking I might just go with Granite, assuming as they won like the last one. I think that they will be able to, beat Famous 5 fairly easily.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Or at least semi-confidently.
Fairly easily. I was going, yeah. Then he said fairly easy. I was like, what? He made them the first consecutive champions of ESNL, wasn't it, as well?
Yeah, it would definitely. It obviously wouldn't be the same.
I'm all for a storyline, so yeah, go for it.
But is there a case to be made, Dom, that Granite playing Famous 5 again sort of has an impact, since it is another semi-final between them two? or is it just that the rosters have changed too much and the players have probably just forgot about that semi since they played it?
I think it's been like a decent amount of time since then. As you say, players have come and gone, and at this level of the scene, I feel like change is a lot more continuous. I don't think it's going to be the same as that semi-final by any sense of the imagination, because in that
Yeah.
semi-final, it was very one-sided towards B Pro at the time, who are now obviously Granite, but now the storyline is that it's going to be fairly one-sided. I wouldn't say completely one-sided, but you're not. The storyline is well in favour of Famous Five right now, so I feel like that's completely different. If I was to pick like a team I had to make a case for, I'm gonna be fueled by my recency bias from last night. I'm gonna say Versio because yeah, you've got Famous Five with the overwhelming favourites, okay, but favourites don't always do that well. Budapest 5 are obviously a brilliant team, but they're still a little bit in the lockdown cups, I think. And are they going to be able to face a team who's just overperforming? Because the thing is with with Aversio, they've got players like Krepo and Xhaka who are both two fantastic players, and you've just got anyone can frag out at any time. Excellent strategy. I felt the strategy that they showed last night was fantastic. The positioning, the utility that they used was different gravy. They're comfortable on Nuke as well, which is obviously the playground of Budapest 5. And I just feel like if I was to pick a winner right now, I would pick Aversio, not because they're the best team, because I don't think they are, but just because they are on a high, they are overperforming, and right now I feel like they really could beat anyone in that top 4 bracket.
Nexus, I feel like, despite what Grev said, and I'm not necessarily disagreeing with Granite being, there's a big case to be made for Granite. The fact that they come into this finals weekend with, honestly, I'm gonna call it a bit of weak form, because they haven't been doing really well in ESEA main, and they did narrowly beat in those two maps. I mean, they won 2-0, but in those two maps, they narrowly beat Revenge, who had a stand-in for the whole of it. Is there sort of a thing where Granite, maybe their form isn't quite as good as we're making it out to be?
I'm not so sure, actually. I mean, I can make a case on why they will win or why they might just fall against Famous 5. I mean, for one, I think their playstyles are kind of similar in the sense that we saw, you and me saw in the Inferno game at least, against Revenge. They like to just group up and just get map control. They just went through the mid smokes on T side over and over again. If there was no smoke, they just didn't flash. Maybe sometimes they flashed. They just went in and overwhelmed the bomb site so many times. And I feel like that kind of contrasts the way Famous 5 plays. So I think either those teams could win it, but then again, it's the other side of the bracket which is so strong, like we've been hearing over and over again.
Yeah. Obviously, you mentioned utility usage there as well, Dom, about Versio, and that's sort of been that combined with Nuke, which is, also been Budapest 5's strong suit, much like the utility usage. It feels like the perfectly balanced matchup in my eyes, because it's sort of the strengths going up against the strengths of the other team, and again, the sort of versatility that they have across the team, where where anyone can really frag. And there's no real player that's going to sort of stand above the rest, but that's not going to be an issue because everyone's just going to stand quite tall. Essentially, what I'm saying is we're going to have some absolutely banging semifinals and an absolute banger of a grand final, whatever happens.
I mean, that's the reason why I feel like the winner of that Versio Budapest 5 semi-final will win the whole tournament, because when you have two teams that are, you say, so evenly matched and so closely matching their skill sets, when you put them against each other, if they cancel each other out, they're going to have to go to dark corners with their playbook and use different skills they've had to maybe use before and elevate their player to a higher level to someone who's able to match them on the biggest strengths. I feel like whoever's stronger enough to use those resources and be that resourceful and bring out those outside factors, anyone who can use that to enhance that to success, I feel like is dead set to be the strong favourite. Because either way, it's going to be a really strong team beating another massively strong team.
In that we describe them as pretty tactically adept, both those teams. Is there sort of a thing, Grev, where it's like that side of the bracket, the sort of underside of the bracket, when you look at the graphics, despite it not being obviously a loser's bracket at all, is that sort of the tactical one, against the top side, which is sort of this brute force B Pro style where they just frag you in every way. Famous Five doing a pretty similar type of thing. Is it sort of the contrast where the upper bracket is just going to be really fraggy, underside going to be a bit more tactical, and then sort of the clash between those two styles in the final?
I mean, they're definitely not like the so-called underside of the bracket, which is BP, no Budapest 5 and Versio. I mean, they're not dependent directly on tactics alone. Like they have definitely enough firepower to do like anything they really want to, which maybe like teams. I'm not sure. I haven't really seen it in teams like Granite and Famous Five where they just go all out on like very planned out strategies and attempt to counter strat different teams. They seem definitely favored to be like more aggressive, more like punch you in the face type of play. So, I mean, in like terms of like firepower, I mean, of course, yeah, those who are dependent, not really dependent, but more frequently using a lot of firepower are often very good at it. So I would categorize it like that almost, yeah, where it's Granite and Famous Five if they make it through, which they probably should, are more like aggressive. So sorry.
Yeah, 100%. Right, I think we should just do sort of the pick'ems, and then maybe just quickly mention what to actually explain, what to actually sort of will happen from a viewing perspective of in the finals weekend. Maybe do just a quick rundown on that, and then I think we'll bounce out of here. Right, Nexus, give me a pick'em, as in who's going to win semi-final one, the one between Granite and Famous Five or 404. Who's going to win semi-final 2 between BP5 and Versio, and who's going to win the final with those two winners from the semis?
Okay. The first game, I'm not. It's. I want to say it's gonna be Granite, but I'm gonna go with them. I think they're gonna win it. And the second game, it's unlike Dom. I don't think it's as clear, or what he said. Like I don't think Versio is gonna make it that easy even if they do win it. Their height might just bring them over it, but it's still a coin flip like the other one. But I'm gonna have to favor Budapest 5 just slightly. And Griv, what are you doing, caveman?
I'm just getting something. Don't worry about me.
Okay, cool beans. Then out of those,
armpit cam.
Yeah. Then I expect it to be a Granite versus a Budapest 5, which I think is going to be fantastic. And
you want to give
that's
me a
all
winner?
I want to. Not really. No, I'm not sure.
Oh, it's a cop out. Oh,
it's gonna be a great game, guys. So yeah,
it's a great game.
I mean,
the one that has fun is the winner.
I mean, everyone's the winner.
I mean,
participation trophy.
He is casting it, guys, so he can't be too.
I'm just here to annoy you guys. Don't worry about it.
All right, Dom. I want you to give me your pickings as well.
Yeah. Also, can you do the salt on my behalf as well? Just go all in.
So yeah, and just sort of reasoning for them as well. Of course, semi-final 1. Remember, BP, or you remember Famous 5.
Oh no, don't worry, I'm on
and
it.
then BP5 Versio.
Trust is key.
He's got it.
Granite versus Famous 5. I feel like Famous 5 is the one that comes to my mind. I feel like they're going to get revenge for 5 semi-finals. I think they're, as you say, we've talked about, it's sort of the fraggier of the two teams. Neither of them have much like tactical depth, I feel. And while B-Pro are probably slightly better in the tactical department right now, Famous 5 are just running through people. So I'm going to give it to them. I feel like that's going to be maybe not as comfortable a win as Season 5 semi-final. Probably another 3 mapper, but I think Famous 5 will get it, and they'll look convincing in doing so. Final 2 could go either way. I think Nexus alluded to that wisely. But I feel like with the Versio overperforming right now, they're similar to Famous 5. They could be anyone. Budapest 5 have shown signs of stuttering from when they were like when they took down Red Bloods, and I feel like they're just not going to be up to Versio, who right now are just on fire. I think individual firepower is also greater on Versio. I think Versio match up to Budapest 5 really well. and with top teams like that, you've just got to beat them at their own game. It's gonna. I think we said earlier the Budapest 5. All I said earlier, the Budapest 5 Red Bloods is probably one of the Genetech is one of the best series in ESNL history. I think this could easily trump that. I think you've got two class teams with amazing tactical depth, amazing players. Similar map pools are going to be competing on every map, and I think it's going to be a very tight game. And I think Eversio will edge it. And then moving to the final, Eversio versus Famous Five, two teams who are both very good at what they do in their own right. Could easily go either way, but I feel like Famous Five are going to run out of steam. And Eversio are going to have more Plan B, Plan C that they're going to be able to exploit in the final. And I feel like, much to Dan Chan's delight, I think Eversio are going to win ESNL season.
Taking revenge for the final last season, perhaps, when they were Xbox. Well,
Yeah.
it's a really
they didn't stand a chance in that one. Let's be honest.
It's a
No, but it's three different players, like, isn't it?
yeah, it is really different
players.
for sure. Yeah.
The core is gone. Yeah.
Grevling,
Granite versus Famous Five. I think I'm gonna stick with Granite for the sole purpose if I want to see like winning them back to back. I think I'm just gonna go with gut from that one. Budapest 5 versus Project Eversio. Let's see. Eversio. We'll probably take that one.
Is that why we got armpit?
I was reaching for a coin.
Yeah, I was gonna do that, but there's no coin on my desk.
The committing to the bit, I appreciate it for sure.
So Eversio have the fate of that one. So you
want to flip a coin again for the final? Granite.
Sure.
versus Eversio?
Heads is Granite and tails is Eversio. Let's see what we got.
You want to show us it as well, please?
Well, the thing is not an actual heads and tail coin because it's a Norwegian one, and we
Right,
barely show any respect on monarchs.
Wow.
So that would be Granite.
Right?
Granite, right?
Okay.
Bit too political.
You're going full on for the Granite back-to-back win through seasons, which honestly, if any ESN team for history who have won it once were to win it twice, I feel like this team is certainly the one to do it, because just the way that they've adapted and so on.
Any of the 4 teams could win this. That's the thing we need to
know.
remember. Any of
So
them
flipping
could
a coin
win
is
this.
probably quite reasonable for a pick'em.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, so about 4 multi-gaming. Yeah, I think they are gonna... No, it's
Wait, I thought it was already decided.
The outsiders, the Leicester City of ESNL season 6.
Honestly,
Okay, so,
five.
what if we act out a what if scenario if they beat Famous Five tomorrow?
I just laugh.
Everyone's fucked.
In that
Wow.
case, Granite have a guaranteed final spot. So,
Oh, yeah,
good job,
true.
Granite.
It would literally kill like the semi-finals, though. I feel like we want the top 4 to be.
It
the
would be a
top 4.
2-0 in that semi-final, because they would just like go super anticlimactic, I feel like, against Granite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would literally kill the semi-final, and then the final might not be as good for it.
I just think right now it is sort of 5,000 to 1 that for win it though, despite being
I'm
one
gonna
of
watch it with much anxiety, just so you know. I'm gonna please don't win.
Yeah.
Please don't win.
No, we should have a Dome ask a third caster for the game. Just in every now and then when there's a freeze time. No, not like this. No.
Yeah. I'll just join the casters channel during the game and go, no, stop,
Stop winning
Go
around.
me, not I.
Join the GoTV, try and
Get the
and
kill.
reach them.
He's going in GoTV and just typing it in chat. so
He's
that people-
becoming the Granite coach, or the Famous Five coach, whatever it is. Right.
Yeah.
My pick'ems then, I guess.
No one
Go on.
cares.
You want to borrow a coin?
Yeah, I don't have to do them. I feel, because it is just going to be a bit random. I feel like you guys have all picked Eversio sort of in that second thing, except Nexus, and
Yep.
to maybe balance it out, I might go for Budapest 5, but it's honestly so
You're
hard.
deliberating. So, as I say, that's the thing with these games. It feels hard to do a pick 'em for them.
No, because
they're so out of the
they're
way.
just
He
so
just doesn't want anyone to hate him.
no, that's not it. They can
Thomas
hate
is
me.
not a
I-
They
diplomat.
can hate me, right?
Not
But
in
it's
any
just
stretch of the imagination.
Then say who's gonna win it. Just say fuck these guys.
no, because honestly, don't even know, because like there's so many angles to it as well, where it's like, yeah, they could win here, they could win there,
No,
but
like that.
despite me saying Budapest 5 are gonna win
Good
the
pussy.
season, I can't really put Eversio now, so I guess Budapest 5 are winning it, just to keep that pick
Yeah.
consistent. But I would
And the
not.
champions of ESNL
I-
Season 6, Skillmatic C.
Rent-free in everyone's
Dak
head.
is the real winner of season 5.
Deck.
Dan Chan won.
I'll deck.
Yeah, well, I think just
Reasonable.
I wouldn't
No,
bat an eye. I wouldn't bat an
No,
eye
no,
if Eversio were to win the game against Budapest 5. Let me just put it that way. Other game, honestly, I can see Famous 5 winning it, to be honest. Like, there's just so much firepower there. And as I mentioned earlier, sort of Granite have been blowing a little too cold for my taste. And, you know, I just think Famous 5 are pretty amped up and will be seeking revenge as the roster have kept. It feels like they've kept a couple more players than Granite or B Pro from last season. Anyway, is going to be my picks. So, Eversio winning it for Dom, Nexus doesn't know, and Grev's flipped the coin. So,
Nexus is a
For
and
Granite.
and I
So,
picked
you know,
Budapest 5.
And
Just
the-
one,
the coin picked Granite.
just one final thing as well, right? I feel like the single most important factor in every single one of these games has to be nuke. Or am I over exaggerating? How important is it? Like,
You
Will it
ban it, you're
cancel
fucked.
each other out? But it's such a sick map,
We
and
love
everyone
Nuke.
knows how to play it. It might just come down to who can play it best.
the
Will they pick it, or will they leave it to a third? Will it become a decider map in many of these series, or will the better teams go for the ballsy pick? You don't know how they're going to play it in vetoes.
I obviously sort of called the under bracket the more tactical one earlier, but I think you can also call it sort of the nuke
Yeah.
part of the bracket, because even in the quarters, XTC play a lot of nuke, Red Bloods play plenty of nuke. Meanwhile, in the top, right now in the semi, what it's looking like rather, it's, you know, it's not like Granite play nuke often at all.
Not particularly.
And
They can do it, but they're not great at
Famous
it.
5 are very capable on it, but I wouldn't call them like they don't have it as their home map in the same capacity that I'd actually call. Oh, I don't think it would be very unreasonable to call Budapest 5's home map nuke, and I honestly think that's sort of Eversio's home ground as well.
What are we thinking about, like, if we were to go in the...
Maybe you won't even see it in the final.
Yes. No. What do we guess the maps would be for the games we're going to see for the semifinals? No. Let's see. I want to see guesses.
Skip me for this bit.
No.
We'll have a
Dom,
couple
let's
of-
start with you. If we were to see Famous 5 versus Granite, what maps?
Are they
what
going
maps do you
back
think
to
we're going
Inferno?
Train. Inferno,
suck.
yeah.
Dude,
They can play
I'd
train.
love a bit of Mirage between Granite and Famous 5. Mirage between those two teams would honestly,
Yeah.
it would be so good.
Okay.
If we don't see Nuke in the under bracket game, the Eversio versus Budapest 5-1, then I think we've been robbed. But
Yep.
I honestly wouldn't be too surprised if it, especially if it's Granite, even if it's Famous 5, I can see it too. Not seeing Nuke in the final, because they'll just ban it as their first map.
Yeah,
I hope that
that's
won't happen, but it wouldn't
honestly what
surprise
I'm
me.
expecting. Like, if you're playing against either Eversio or Budapest 5, you should ban Nuke.
To what extent do IGLs at this level of the scene actually do that much anti-straying though? Will
Well,
they really? Do you think they're really going to go for that?
I think maybe they'll, like...
I mean, if
This
you
is the-
ban
this is
Nuke
their
and throw in
fiscal-
Vertigo, that's going to
a
be...
part of my
They have an execute like this, and that's basically it, probably.
A
Like,
par-
I don't think they're going to try and do anything more than that.
a part of sort of my thing about Famous 5's slightly fading form was actually about ESEA main, right? Where they played, I think it was Buzzkill last
Buzzkill.
night on Dust 2, one of if not the sort of home maps for Famous 5, and they got anti-stratted hard. Ant casted that one, I think, for Buzzkill.
Yeah, I did.
And it was just like, he told me after as well, like it just felt like Buzzkill had the read on them so much, and Famous 5 sort of started, they didn't quite have the spark that they've had previously, so there's definitely a reason as to why Famous 5 wouldn't be winning against Granite, despite me saying that they would be based on the form, you know. So I think there's certainly some anti-stratting being done as an extension of what I've just said there with Buzzkill specifically. Right. I think that should be should be it. Anything else you want to bring up? I think I'll actually, now thinking about it, I'll just maybe say that finals weekend is going to be a lot of fun if you tune in. We're going to have the games on the semi-finals on Saturday, with I think them being at separate times, like 5 and 8 p.m. I don't think the times are confirmed yet, but I think it's going to be like 5 and 8 p.m. BST, and then the grand final is probably gonna. I'm not not sure on the
2
time.
p.m. and 5 p.m.
Oh,
corrected by
2 p.m. and 5 p.m. for the semis, and then I'm guessing it's like 5 p.m. or something for the grand final as well.
Stay tuned on Twitter if you want more updates on that.
I'm gonna figure out the answer to Ritzy's question right now. How many questions?
6
how many
p.m.
steps does it take for me to reach my toilet in comparison to my old apartment? I'm gonna do that one.
Yeah.
See ya. Bye.
See ya. Bye.
Next left just before the end.
Of course they did. No, but
Lasted longer than I did.
I think,
so that was like 4.5.
I think
You might actually do a demonstration of how many steps it takes to get to the loo.
yeah, he should have
That's
brought the
weird.
camera with him.
No, I can't. It's
No,
not.
definitely
it doesn't go
Grand
that far.
final is 6
No, it's
p.m.
just-
for those.
Grand
Should
final
we
is
get
6
back to
p.m.
the finals weekend?
These are
instead
British
of-
standard
no,
times, not
Blue.
it's not CEST,
So
British standard.
2 p.m. and 5 p.m. for the semi-finals, and 6
I
p.m.
don't
for
care
the
about my,
final in BST. I think the only confirmed thing is that we have so much planned for that grand final on Sunday at 6 p.m. GMT. So or BST rather. So if you can only tune into one game, then make sure it's that one.
Definitely.
The only thing
I'm pleased to know I'm not casting it as well, so definitely get in there.
The only thing that's confirmed about it is that Grev is a snake and that me and Nexus are casting it, but it's unconfirmed as to if we're gonna bring another one on. I think we are gonna bring another one on to have that tri-cast feel for the final. Don't justify yourself, Grev. You don't deserve
Once
it.
again, I apologize for that. The finals on the national day of my country. All right. I mean, I would have loved to be there if it was any other weekend. But
I just say no thanks. I'm getting paid in exposure.
Exactly.
Also, Shomis, you need to answer Rich's question as well. I'm
I will
to
do
this
that,
as well.
but just after
No, right now.
I sum things up, please.
I'll sign it off. Don't
now.
worry. You can go.
Stop
Now.
messing up with Shomis' flow. Let him do his thing as host, please. Nexus.
A mess.
You guys just hate fun.
Yeah. You got
does
any
hate
problem with us hating fun, Nexus?
Yep. I hate you.
You're like a disobedient son. A disobedient son.
Shomis needs to discipline him and teach him the ways of responsibility.
Alright, well, I think that's basically it. Again, finals, so much planned, and you don't even know until you're seeing it. And then after that, we are going to reveal all that there is to reveal right now for Season 7 of ESN. It's going to be a big one.
Yeah.
The big one, some would say. So make sure to stay tuned for all that. If you want to get the update on Season 7 on Sunday without actually watching anything, or to know when we're going live, you can definitely follow the Twitter account at ESN_GG, same handle as the Twitch name, which we're on right now if you're watching the VOD. If you are watching the VOD, then shout out to you for watching it, I guess. If you want to find that one, then it's on Electronic Sports Network's YouTube channel. No, it doesn't stand for Esmer's Student Network. It stands for Electronic Sports Network. And yeah, it's on there in whatever time it takes for Matt to not be lazy. So, with that being said, I think we should end it off there. Thank you, Nexus.
Hi, no problem. It's been a pleasure.
You took too long. Thank you, Tom.
Fuck you.
Thanks very much. See you all soon.
Thank you, Grev. Cool. Alright, it's been great. Thank you, everyone. And we'll see you back next week. Bye-bye.